Let's discuss problem C, ABC conjecture. What the problem states that you are given two array A and B and both will be same length and containing the character ABC only. That means you are given two string and both length will be n, and both the string will be contain only the character A, B and C. And in one move you can modify a string, choose three index I, j, k, where I is less than j and j is less than k, and where ai will be a, aj will be b and ak will be c, and then swap the value of ai and ak. That means abc will be turned into cba. Okay, you can perform this move as many as you like. Is it possible to make an a equal to b? Okay, let's understand what problem saying. So the problem states that you have been given two string a and b and both will be same length n, and the string will be contain only character a, b, c. And for a you can perform a operation like you have to choose I, j and k such that a of I will be a of j will be b and a of k will be c, and you can swap between a and c. By applying this operation you have to confirm that is it possible to convert a string from a to b by applying this operation as many as possible. Let's take an example and try to understand what the problem actually says. For the first example, ACB and ABC, ACB and ABC. Can we apply the operations? Like for that case A and A equal, but for that case C and B is not equal. That means we can't perform any operation because we can only change the character. We can only change the character A and C, interchange the character, right? But we can't change any B to C or B to A, right? So we have to make sure that for the both string B will be in same position. That means this is not possible to convert from A to B. For that case the output is no. And for the second case ACB CB, right? We see A and C is not equal, C is equal, B equal, CA is not equal, and again B and B is equal. That means we can interchange A and C. Why? Because if we choose I here and we can choose J for the B and we can choose an K in the C, then we can interchange I and K. That means we can interchange A of I and A of K. That means after that the array become C and there become A. Now the both string will be equal. So it is valid. For that case it is valid. Let's take the third example. For that case you have given A, B, A, C, C and C, B, C, A. That means we see that BB is equal, no problem, and we see that there is indifferent, here is indifferent, this is indifferent, this is indifferent. Now if we choose an I here, and I can say that one of B is my J, because J will be always pointing B, any B. Okay, we can choose K on any C. Let's take for the first. Now we can interchange C and A. Now this A becomes C and this C becomes A. But what happened for that case? A and C and CA. We know that we can interchange A and C, but there is a condition that inside between them there must be a B, but for that case there is no B, right? Okay, let's understand. That means we can swap only A and C or A and C if there is an B between them, then we can swap. If there is an A, there is an C, we can swap. Okay, now how you implement the problem? We can implement using an queue. How? Let's see. Let's take an example and let's take the second example. And for that case, whenever I see in string A there is an A and string B there is an C, I simply put in a queue data structure. Why? I will tell you. Let's see, I am seeing that for 0 index I am seeing an A and C, so I simply put in 0, and I see this is matching, so we don't do anything. B is matching, don't anything. But whenever I see and C, right, whenever I see and C, then I'll check is there any key A. because there is an C and there is an A, both are not matching. So how can I make them equal? For C I can make them equal to converting with an A, right? So I will try to find whether in previous there is an A or not, and for A I am pushing in Q, so I'll find I'll check is there Q and there is an A or not, there is an element or not. I'm seeing that in my Q there is an element because there is an indexes. I always put the indexes of index when I find an A in string A, right? I see that there is an A. So but then I can tell that C can be converted with A, right? That means C can be converted with A, and A also can be converted. I don't take care this, but it can confirm. So after that I will simply remove the from the queue. But this is not the case. We also check in between if there is an B or not. So how we can check? We also maintain a variable, then that will tell the index of B where the last B occurs. For that case the B is 2. That means B occurs in 2 index. So for any C, A will be before B. For that case only we can swap. That means B always in between A and C. That means in any case whenever find an C and we try to find an A in Q, and A will be valid. A will be valid. That means A can be swapped with C when in between there will be an B, right? So for that case what I can do, whenever I see an A, I simply put in index in my queue. Whenever C and B, I just update the value of my variable B index. Then whenever I see and C, I just check is there any A in my queue. I see there is an A, and I also have to check is my index is less than B index or not. That means this is less than B. If this is the case, that means I can swap with that. Then I simply pop out from A from the queue, means A index from the queue, right? So this is done. Then again whenever I see an A, I just simply put the index in queue. Then whenever see an C, I just check is there any element in A. I see there is an element in Q, but this is not less than B because the B value is B is here. In between there is no B, so this is not the valid case. For that case, we'll simply return false. This is not the case, right? And let's take a look in my code. What I'm saying, I just take the size of string. I take to input, then I call a function which will say that it is valid or not. If it is valid, I simply put yes or no. And for that case, what I'm doing, I simply initialize a linked list and I say that my current is 1, and this is maintaining the B index value. And whenever I iterating, if I see that my current A value is equal to current B value, that means if I have an example like A, B and C, this is A, and the second example is C, B and A. Whenever see that current value is equal to B, like if there is an C and there is an C, if I see that my current A value and B value is equal, then I check it is B or not, because for B I have to take care of the index of B, right? So if this is B, then I just update my current value. If this is not, then I'll check if my current value is A and my B current value is C. If this is the case, I just simply add in my queue. That means I simply add the index of queue. Like for that case, I simply add in 1 in my queue. Then for the next time whenever I see there is an B, that means that my current will be now 2, right? And whenever I go and index 3, then I am seeing that there is an C, so I try to find is there any A present or not. I see that my queue is not empty. That means in that case, if there is an C in A and there is an A in B, then I check is my queue is not empty and is my top element of queue is less than my current. And that means if my A is before B, right? Because I'm maintaining the index of B, so this is current is storing the index of B. That means A should be before B. If this is the case, I just simply pop from the queue because I can interchange between them. But if this is not case, if this is not case, I simply return false, because this can be done, this cannot be done, because right, if I see that there is an A, there is an C, and there is an B, and there is an B, there is an C, there is an A, so not the case. I see there is an B, so what happened? My current will be 0, my current will be 0. Then I see an A and C, that means that case, for that case I simply put Q and 1, because this is index 0, 1, 2. Then whenever C and A, I try to find is my Q and P. No, is my current element is greater than my Q top element. My Q top element is 1, but my current element is 0. That means this is not the case. I have seen that this is not the case, because to interchange between A and C, B must be occurs between them, but this is not the case. For that case I simply return. But if there is an B and there is an C, or there is an C and there is an B, for that case also I am returning a false. This is a, and at last after that I am taking that is my Q is empty or not, because if I pick an A I simply put in Q, but whenever I C and C and here A, that means I have to swap between C and A, then that time I popping them. If this is the valid case, that means my Q becomes empty at the last. If this is the case, I simply return true, because is empty, then return true, or else false. And this is the solution of taking big O in time complexity and also space complexity is big O n, right? In case you are able to understand the whole part of our solution, make sure that you subscribe and like our channel and share with your friends, and stay connected with us. Thank you.